Hello, everyone, and welcome to Daily English Podcast. If you want to improve your English listening and speaking, you're in the right place. Today's episode is different. It's real, it's raw, and it's quiet. What does a real day look like when you're building your dream? But no one's clapping yet? No spotlight, no big wins. Just small, quiet choices that shape your future. This is the story of a young entrepreneur, not famous, not finished, but focused. Walk with me through a single day that shows the truth behind the hustle, the discipline, the doubts, the mindset, the mission, and the quiet power of simply not giving up. Part 1. Morning Routine, Mindset and Motivation. The sun isn't up yet, but he is. The room is still dark, the city is quiet. No alarm clock, no loud music. Just a quiet decision. He opens his eyes. He takes a deep breath and whispers to himself, "Let's go." This is the beginning of a young entrepreneur's day. Not just a day filled with tasks, but a day shaped by discipline, energy, and quiet dreams. This is not the story of someone famous. Not yet. This is the story of someone building, slowly, painfully, and with purpose. He stands up. His bed is made in 30 seconds. Why? Because he believes that how you do small things is how you do everything. One tiny habit, one small win. First thing in the morning, it creates momentum. He doesn't reach for his phone. He reaches for his water bottle. Because hydration is discipline. And discipline creates clarity. And clarity creates action. He walks to the mirror. No fancy words. No loud affirmations. Just 3 short sentences. I'm focused. I'm learning. I'm growing. Simple. Quiet. Strong. It's not for Instagram. It's for his brain, his nervous system, his energy. In the kitchen, he makes tea, green tea, warm, light, calm. It's his ritual, not because it's trendy, but because it gives him 10 minutes of stillness. And in that stillness, he thinks, what matters today? Not everything, just 3 things. He opens his notebook. He writes, talk to the investor, help one client, take care of my health. That's it. He knows that clarity beats chaos. He doesn't need 100 goals. He needs 3 strong moves before anyone messages him, before the day demands his energy. He creates space for himself. He doesn't rush into work. He reads for 15 minutes. A business book, a biography, sometimes a book about mindset. He reads not to escape, but to learn. Because success doesn't come from luck. It comes from learning what other people already figured out. Now the sun is rising. The city is waking up. Cars are starting. Doors are opening. The noise is returning. But inside, he is calm. He's already won the first hour of the day. And when you win the morning, you win the day. He opens his laptop. No social media, no scrolling, no comparison, just focus. His project is waiting. His small business. His mission. His test of consistency. He opens the document, checks the numbers, replies to one client, and writes a short note to his team. No, he's not a CEO yet, but he's leading like one, because he believes you don't wait until you're in charge to act like a leader. You lead from wherever you are. And this is leadership in action. Not loud, not flashy, but real. He opens his calendar. He's booked a short workout, just 30 minutes, push-ups, planks, jogging in place. Why? Because the body is part of the business. And energy comes from movement, not caffeine, not stress, not panic. He trains because he wants to be strong, mentally, emotionally, physically. Not to impress others, but to survive the pressure of chasing a dream. In the shower, he doesn't rush. He lets the water calm his nervous system, Because he knows. You can't give calm energy to your business if you live in chaos. After the shower, he dresses simply. Plain black t-shirt, clean jeans, comfortable shoes. He's not trying to prove anything. He's trying to move. He prepares a light breakfast. Eggs, fruit, not perfect, but enough. And while he eats, he reminds himself, I'm not behind. I'm not lost. I'm building something real. He doesn't wait to feel motivated. He creates it. Every choice is a signal to his brain. I'm serious. I'm in this. I'm growing. This is how his day begins. Not with luck, not with a miracle, but with simple, repeatable actions. He doesn't shout about his goals. He lives them. Quietly. Daily. Faithfully. This is the morning of a young entrepreneur. It's not perfect. It's not easy. But it's real. And it's powerful, because if you win the morning, you build a mind that can handle the afternoon, the failures, the setbacks, and the world. Part 2. Midday. Hustle, pressure moments, and learning on the go. The morning was steady, focused, quiet. But the middle of the day, it's different. By 10 a.m., his inbox is full. Client updates, supplier delays, a refund request. His calendar shows 4 back-to-back meetings. His phone vibrates. A missed call, another email, a Slack notification. And just like that, the piece starts to shake. This is the test. Not of how smart he is, but how calm he stays. He breathes. He closes the laptop for 30 seconds and whispers, "Stay centered. Don't react. Respond." He knows the difference. Reacting is emotional. Responding is intentional. He opens his notebook again. Not to plan, but to remember. Why am I doing this? Because it's easy to forget when the pressure grows. It's easy to drown in small problems, to feel like everything is falling apart. But he reminds himself, this is part of the game. If it were easy, everyone would do it. First meeting starts. A client is frustrated. The order was delayed. Their tone is sharp, cold, demanding. He listens. He doesn't interrupt. He takes notes. And when it's his turn, he speaks slowly, clearly, calmly. "I understand how you feel. Let's fix it together." No excuses, no blame, just ownership. He's learning that the most powerful person in the room is the one who stays calm. Not the loudest, not the smartest, the calmest. Meeting ends. The client is still not smiling, but they respect him. Because he showed up with honesty and courage. He takes a sip of water, then stands up, moves his body for 2 minutes. Because emotions stay stuck when you sit too long, and movement clears the mind. Second meeting. It's with his small team. 3 people on Zoom, all trying their best, all juggling tasks, all looking at him for direction. He starts with gratitude. "Thank you for showing up. I know we're all tired. I know it's hard. But I see you. I appreciate you." And the energy changes. Because leadership isn't about shouting instructions. It's about lifting people, even when you're tired too. He shares updates, delegates clearly, asks for feedback, and ends the meeting with one question. "What can I do to support you better this week?" Silence. Then one team member says, "Honestly, just knowing you've got our back helps." And that's it. The best leadership moment of the day. Not a strategy. Not a metric. Just presence. Lunch comes late. He's hungry. But not just for food. For clarity. He walks to a nearby cafe. Not fancy. Just quiet. He orders something light. Sits near the window. And takes out his phone. Not to scroll, but to learn. He plays a 15-minute podcast. A founder story. Someone who failed. Then built again. It inspires him. Because sometimes, A short story can reset your whole spirit. He takes notes on napkins, writes one quote down. The pressure you feel now is proof that you're not standing still. He finishes his tea, pays, leaves a small tip, not because he has extra, but because he respects service and believes in giving, even when it's small. Back to his workspace. Afternoon tasks begin. Website updates, pricing review, team reply. It's not glamorous, it's not exciting, but he does it anyway, because he knows business isn't built in big moments. It's built in boring ones. The quiet repetition of tiny actions. Every day, he gets a call from his mentor. Short, direct. How are you holding up? He laughs. Honestly, some days I feel unstoppable. Other days I feel lost. His mentor says, that's normal. Keep walking. Storms pass. But builders stay. He nods, says thank you, and writes it down. Builders stay. That sentence will guide him tonight, and tomorrow, and whenever he feels like giving up. Part 3. Evening choices, quiet struggles, and staying true to the dream. The afternoon fades. The sunlight softens. The sky turns gold. It's almost 5 p.m. For most people, that's the end of the workday. But not for him. This is where another kind of work begins. The creative work. The future-building work. The no one is watching kind of work. He looks at his to-do list. Some tasks are still waiting. He could skip them. He could say, I'll do it tomorrow. But he doesn't, because success doesn't come from what you plan to do. It comes from what you actually do, when you don't feel like it. He opens a blank page. It's time to write copy for a new product. Just a few lines. But the words don't come easily today. His brain feels foggy. His back hurts a little. And a small voice inside whispers, you've done enough. Take a break. No one will notice. But he answers that voice with action. He sets a timer. 15 minutes. Just focus. Just begin. No perfection. Just progress. He types slowly at first. Then faster. Ideas begin to flow. Halfway through, he surprises himself. The words feel alive. The product has purpose. It's not just something to sell. It's something to serve. And that gives him energy. He finishes the copy, saves it, closes the tab, smiles. Not because it's perfect, but because he kept his promise to himself. That's the real win. Keeping your word to yourself. The evening arrives. Dinner time. He makes something simple. A warm bowl of rice, some vegetables, nothing fancy. Nothing loud. He eats slowly, without music, without distraction, just presence. After dinner, he washes the dishes. Not because he loves it, but because clean space, sashabio, clean mind. He steps outside, just for 10 minutes. To breathe. To look at the sky. To feel the air. This is his pause. His reset. No noise. No pressure. Just stillness. He thinks of his family. He misses them. Sometimes the journey feels lonely. Friends don't always understand. People ask, why work so hard? They say, relax a little, enjoy life. And he smiles politely. But deep inside, he knows this is his joy. Building, trying, failing, growing. That's what makes him feel alive. He walks back inside, opens his journal, and writes, not to be perfect, but to be honest. Today was hard, but I didn't give up. I stayed calm. I showed up. I created something. I learned something. I took care of myself. That's a win. Then he writes one question. What did I learn today? And the answer flows. That pressure is a sign of progress. That leading means listening. That small wins matter. And that my dream is still worth it. He closes the journal, closes the laptop, turns off the light. Before bed, He sits quietly. He doesn't scroll. He doesn't compare. He just breathes. He tells himself, I'm proud of how I handled today. Not because it was perfect, but because I stayed present. And as he lies down, the same thought returns. I'm still becoming. I'm still growing. I'm still here, and that's enough. He sleeps, not like someone who is finished, but like someone who is becoming. Because he knows the life he's building isn't just about money or freedom or success. It's about becoming the kind of person who shows up, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. And that is the real journey, the real story, the real power. Part 4. Flashbacks to early failure, why he started, and what keeps him going. Before the next day begins. Let's go back to where it all started. Because behind every calm, focused day, there was once a storm. And behind every strong voice, there was once silence. 2 years ago, he was lost. No job, no income, no purpose, just fear. He had just left his old job. It wasn't toxic. It just didn't feel right anymore. Every day felt like a loop. Wake up, work, come home, sleep, repeat. His soul was quiet, but not in a peaceful way, in an empty way. He wanted more. Not more money, more meaning. But meaning doesn't come with a map. And freedom doesn't come with a guarantee, so he quit. And at first, it felt exciting. Then, terrifying. The first week was full of hope. The second week was full of doubt. The third week, he ran out of excuses. He tried things. Freelancing, selling online, even tutoring English at night. Nothing clicked. He made mistakes. He lost money. Once, he spent his last $40 on a course. It didn't change his life, but it changed his thinking. Because that course reminded him, you don't need to know everything. You just need to begin. He wrote that on a post-it note, put it on his wall, and every day he looked at it. Begin, even if it's messy, even if you're scared, even if no one claps. Begin anyway. He started small. Very small. 1 online product, 0 sales in the first week, 2 sales in the second. He didn't celebrate big. He didn't post about it. He just said to himself, this is proof. I can build something. Month by month, the progress was slow. Sometimes he cried. Once, he almost gave up. But then something strange happened. He met another entrepreneur online. A stranger, but a kind one. They talked every week. Shared ideas, encouraged each other. That connection saved his dream, because sometimes all it takes is one voice, saying, don't stop, you're doing better than you think. He kept going. He learned about systems, about marketing, about value. He learned that business isn't about chasing money, it's about solving problems. He started asking new questions. What does my customer struggle with? How can I make their life easier? What value can I give, even for free? That mindset changed everything. Slowly, his product improved. His message became clearer. His audience grew, not by thousands, but by tens, then hundreds. He stayed consistent, not flashy, just real. And now, 2 years later, he's still building, but with more clarity, more focus, more strength. Every morning, he wakes up, not with fear, but with fire. Not with doubt, but with direction. And whenever he feels tired, he remembers that boy from 2 years ago, the one who didn't know where to begin, the one who had every reason to quit, but didn't. That's what keeps him going. Not money, not likes, not status, but memory of where he started and how far he's come. And that's what makes every day sacred, Because when you remember your why, you can survive anyhow. Part 5. Mentorship moments, facing rejection, and choosing long-term over quick wins. Not all lessons come from books. Some come from people, and some from pain. He remembers the first time he reached out to a mentor. He had just launched his first real offer. He thought it was good. He believed in it. He sent it to someone he admired, someone with more experience, hoping for encouragement. But what he got was honesty. The reply was short. It's a good start, but it's not clear who it's for, or what problem it solves. At first, he felt crushed. His heart dropped. He almost deleted the entire thing. But then he paused, took a breath, and read the message again. This time, he didn't see criticism. He saw a gift, because real mentors don't flatter you. They sharpen you. He replied, "Thank you. I needed that." And that day, something inside him shifted. He stopped trying to impress. He started trying to improve. Every rejection after that felt different, less personal, more useful. He began tracking feedback like gold. Did the client say no? Why? Was the copy ignored? What didn't land? He became a student of response, not reaction. That's what mentors taught him. To see rejection as redirection. To see no as a mirror, not a wall. One mentor told him, "Most people chase what looks easy, but the real win is in what lasts." He never forgot that, because in business, there are two kinds of wins: fast ones that disappear, and deep ones that build foundation. He chose depth. It meant saying no to shortcuts, no to fake hype, no to copying trends that didn't feel real. And yes, that meant slower growth, smaller numbers, fewer likes. But it also meant deeper trust, more loyal clients, and a business that didn't depend on luck. His mentors didn't just teach strategy, they taught mindset. One said, "Don't build something you'll hate running. Create a life you enjoy showing up for." That changed everything. He started checking in with himself more often. Am I proud of what I'm building? Does this feel like me? Would I want to wake up to this life every day? If the answer was no, he didn't launch it. He rewrote, he rebuilt, he waited. Because fast success is tempting. But peace? Peace is priceless. There was a time he got offered a big collaboration. Someone with 100,000 followers. They wanted him to promote their course. It paid well, sounded easy. But when he looked closer, the course was shallow, repetitive, lacked heart. He declined. His mentor later said, "That decision cost you short-term money, but it earned you long-term self-respect." And that was true. Every no to misaligned offers made space for the yes that mattered. He's still learning, still failing, still growing. But now, he knows the difference between growth that looks good and growth that feels good. And that's a lesson only time and a few mentors can teach. 6. Burnout moments, rest without guilt, and balancing ambition with mental health. There was a season when he almost gave up, not because his business failed, but because he was failing himself. Too tired, too wired, always chasing, never resting. It started slow. One skipped lunch, one late night, one "I'll sleep when I'm successful" lie. Then another and another, until exhaustion became his normal, until he started waking up, tired, and going to bed, anxious. His creativity dimmed, his smile faded, his mind raced even when the laptop was closed. That's when it hit him. Success that costs your peace isn't success. But he didn't know how to stop. Stopping felt like failure. Rest felt like weakness. Until one day, his body made the decision for him. He crashed. Not in a dramatic way, just quietly. Fully. Completely. No energy, no clarity, just stillness. And in that stillness, a voice inside him whispered, "You need to rest. Not quit, just rest." That's when he began a new journey, learning how to pause without guilt. He started by doing something simple. He deleted one app from his phone, social media, because comparison was stealing his joy, and noise was stealing his focus. He gave himself permission to slow down, to breathe, to take a full day off. At first it was hard. He felt lazy, behind, unproductive. But then something surprising happened. He felt alive again. He took walks. He journaled. He called old friends. He watched the sunset, without taking a photo. He realized he didn't need to earn rest. He needed to honor it, because rest is part of growth, not the opposite of it. He changed his routines. Instead of working late, he chose to sleep early. Instead of pushing through brain fog, he stepped away for fresh air. Instead of punishing his body with caffeine, he nourished it with food and movement. And slowly, his mind came back. His energy returned. His spark reignited, but more than anything, he found balance. Now he no longer glorifies burnout. He doesn't brag about all-nighters. He doesn't chase the hustle 24/7. He works hard. But he also rests. He pushes forward. But he also pulls back when needed, because he knows a rested mind makes better decisions. A calm heart leads better teams. A healthy body builds stronger dreams. And most importantly, the version of him that is rested, centered, and emotionally full. That version is the one who creates lasting success. He still has big goals, but now they're built on a foundation of peace, not panic. He's not slower. He's smarter. He's not weak. He's wise. And that's a lesson every entrepreneur must learn. You don't have to destroy yourself to build your dream. You can grow with grace. You can rise with rhythm. You can achieve and still breathe. Part 7. Daily Mindset Practices, Emotional Maturity, and Staying Grounded in Chaos. Every day brings new tasks, new problems, new pressure. But pressure doesn't break him anymore, because he's trained something stronger than hustle. His mind. He wakes up and chooses his focus. Not his phone, not his followers, not what the world wants from him. He chooses what he wants to feel. And that changes everything. Each morning before the noise begins, he gives himself 10 quiet minutes, not for emails, not for sales, for center. He sits, breathes, sometimes with eyes closed, sometimes with a journal in hand. He asks, what kind of energy do I want to carry today? Who do I want to be no matter what happens? It's not always deep. Sometimes it's simple. I want to be calm. I want to listen more. I want to speak slowly and kindly. That's it. That's the mindset. A choice made before the chaos. He's learned, you don't control the world, but you can control how you show up in it. And emotional maturity? It's not about never getting angry or scared. It's about noticing those feelings and choosing what to do with them. He has triggers. He still feels insecure sometimes, still gets frustrated, still worries. But now, he has tools. When he feels overwhelmed, he walks. When he feels lost, he writes. When he feels reactive, he pauses. One of his favorite questions is this urgent or just loud? Because not every loud thing deserves your attention. And not every urgent thing is important. That mindset has saved him hours and given him peace. He used to jump at every notification. Now, he sets boundaries. He works in deep focus for 2 hours, then takes a break. He doesn't answer every message instantly, and he doesn't apologize for protecting his peace. He reminds himself, my energy is a resource. If I waste it on panic, I lose it for purpose. That truth keeps him grounded. He's also learned to speak kindly to himself. No more harsh self-talk. No more "you're not good enough" lies. Instead, he speaks to himself like a friend. You're learning. You did your best. You're getting better. This isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Because a strong mind isn't built on criticism. It's built on care, and care starts with the way you talk to yourself. He also tracks wins, not just revenue, but real growth. Did I solve a tough problem? Did I manage my emotions today? Did I show up even when it was hard? Those are the wins that matter. At the end of the day, he doesn't just ask, how much did I get done? He asks, how did I live today? How did I treat people? Did I stay true to my values? Because success without soul is empty, and business without heart is noise. So now, he walks through life with more softness. Not slower, just deeper. He doesn't need to prove himself anymore. He just needs to stay aligned with his why, with his values, with his peace. And that's what keeps him grounded. Even when the world spins fast, even when things go wrong, even when the path isn't clear, because clarity isn't something you find, it's something you choose daily. And this is the life he's choosing to build. Part 8. Tough decisions, staying true to purpose, and the reward of integrity. It was one of the hardest decisions he ever faced. He had worked on a project for 6 weeks, every day, early mornings, late nights, tweaking, improving, testing. It was supposed to be his biggest launch yet, a collaboration, a course. His team was excited. The email list was ready. Everything was in place. But something felt wrong. It wasn't the product. It wasn't the people. It was the pressure. The project had shifted from mission to money, from purpose to numbers, and he could feel it in his gut, in his breath, in the way he kept hesitating to click publish. He sat in silence, alone, one hand on the mouse, one hand on his chest. He asked himself, will this make me proud, or just make me busy? That question echoed in the room. He already knew the answer, but it hurt, because canceling meant disappointing people, wasting effort, losing money. But launching meant losing himself, so he chose integrity. Again, he pulled the plug. He wrote to his team. He called his partner. He paused the campaign. Not because he was weak, but because he was strong enough to honor his voice. That night, he didn't sleep much, not because of regret, but because of peace. The kind of peace that comes from doing the right thing, even when it costs you. He woke up the next day lighter, still unsure, but free. His audience noticed. One message stood out. Thank you for being real. I trust you even more now. And that message reminded him, you don't lose by being honest. You lose by pretending. He rebuilt, slower, more thoughtfully. He asked better questions, listened more deeply, created with heart. And when he finally launched a new offer, it wasn't perfect, but it was pure, and people felt that. Because energy is louder than words. The launch didn't break records, but it broke his fear. The fear of being misunderstood, the fear of disappointing, the fear of being too real. And that was a breakthrough. Now every time he faces a hard choice, he doesn't just ask, what's the smart move? He also asks, what's the true move? Because he knows. In business you can't control outcomes. But you can control who you become in the process, and becoming someone you're proud of, that's the real win. Part 9. Gratitude, small joys, unexpected kindness, and the quiet power of being human in business. He didn't start with money. He didn't start with connections. He started with something else. Gratitude. The kind of gratitude that isn't loud, doesn't wear a smile all the time, but lives in the quiet space of noticing, I'm here, I'm alive, and I get to try again today. There's power in that. He keeps a list, not of goals, of gratitudes, and every night before bed he writes 3. Sometimes they're big. A client renewed for another month. I reached a new milestone. But most times they're small. I had time to eat lunch in peace. My friend messaged to check in. The coffee was just right today. He's learned that gratitude doesn't just make you feel good, it makes you strong. Because when things go wrong, when numbers drop, when critics show up, gratitude keeps you steady. It reminds you, you're not failing. You're still building. You're still breathing. You still have power to choose your response. And that's everything. He also collects moments, not just money. Not just milestones, moments. Like the message from a student who said, "Your course helped me believe in myself again." Or the surprise gift from a client, a book with a handwritten note that said, "You changed how I see business." He keeps that book on his desk, not for motivation, but for memory. Because it's easy to forget how far you've come. But those reminders, they ground you. He gives back too, quietly. He sends coffee to a friend going through a tough time. He leaves comments on creators just starting out. He buys from small shops when he can, not to be seen, but to say, "I see you." Because he knows what it's like to feel invisible, to work hard and wonder if anyone notices. To hope that one kind word might carry you through the week. So he becomes that kind word. Business for him isn't just strategy, it's humanity. He listens before he sells. He thanks before he asks. He gives before he grows. Not because it's smart, but because it's right. He once heard a mentor say, "Success is not what you build. It's how you treat people while you build it." That stayed with him. So he shows up with kindness, with patience, with the quiet strength of someone who hasn't forgotten what it means to struggle. When people say, "Your business feels different," he knows why. It's not the product. It's not the branding. It's the energy, the intention, the love, the care. That's the secret. And it's not a tactic. It's a way of being. And it's one you can't fake. You can't automate kindness. You have to live it. So that's what he does every day, in the big choices and the small ones. He remembers, people don't just buy products, they buy how you made them feel. And if you leave them better than you found them, you've already succeeded. Part 10. Legacy, quiet. Confidence and the strength to begin again tomorrow. It's almost midnight. The lights are low. The screen is off. The world is quiet again. Another day has passed. Not perfect. Not easy. But honest. And that's enough. He sits in stillness. Not to plan. Not to produce. But to remember. Why he started. Who he's becoming, and what it's all for, because at the heart of everything he's building, there's something deeper than ambition. There's legacy. Not legacy in the loud sense. Not buildings named after him. Not millions in the bank. Legacy in the quiet sense. The kind that's felt, not seen. The kind that lives in how he shows up, how he treats people, how he carries himself when no one is watching. He's building a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good on the outside. A life that will one day inspire his future family, his community, even strangers he'll never meet. And that's why he keeps going. He doesn't chase hype. He doesn't beg for attention. He just builds, from the inside out. Every setback taught him resilience. Every quiet win taught him patience. Every failure gave him humility. And every small, courageous step taught him that he's capable of more than he ever imagined. Now, when he walks into a room, he doesn't need to prove himself. His energy speaks. His eyes are calm, his voice is steady. That's quiet confidence. Not because he has all the answers, but because he knows he can handle the unknown. Not because he's perfect, but because he's present. That's the kind of strength that doesn't shake, because it's not built on ego. It's built on truth. He turns off the final light, lays down, breathes in, and smiles. Because tomorrow, he gets to begin again. He doesn't dread it. He doesn't fear it. He welcomes it. Not with pressure, but with peace, because every morning is a chance to do it better, to love deeper, to build with more heart, to speak with more grace, to live with more truth. That's what this life is about. Not chasing perfection, but showing up again and again with courage. And that is the real story of a young entrepreneur. Not just what he built, but how he built it, with kindness, with clarity, with consistency, with care, and most of all, with heart. And that is the real story of a young entrepreneur. Not just what he built, but how he built it, with kindness, with clarity, with consistency, with care, and most of all, with heart. This final moment wraps up the story with calm power. Simple, touching, and voiceover perfect. Would you also like a YouTube outro line such as, "If this story moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone on their own journey." Your support keeps this message alive.